This is really bad.
I feel like this guy's getting flakier and flakier by the minute. Fuck it, I'm just gonna call him, I don't owe him anything. I am the hot date. Observations that I've made over my short time on these two dating apps at present. I did download Bumble, we got rid of it, we eradicated it from the situation quite quickly. One, it was too much to have like all three of them, and it's quite hard work. So I actually feel like Bumble has probably got more prospects, but it's a lot slower than the other two. You know what, Bumble just didn't work for me. I feel like I've reached a new level in the online dating world, and I'm starting to notice quite a few common trends. I now feel like I could grade myself experienced on there. Maybe because I'm just being a lot more observant than the average girl would be. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just super picky. Maybe I'm super observant. Maybe I'm just overanalyzing things. But there's a few things that I have noticed and I just wanted to share them with you. Number one, on Hinge, there is a question that says, I'm overly competitive about blank. I cannot tell you the amount of times that I have seen everything, literally everything, absolutely everything as the blank answer. And I've not seen any different answer to that question yet. A bog standard, boring answer like, oh, I'm competitive about everything. I don't think competitiveness is a good trait in a relationship. And that might be because I've been in relationships where it's almost been a competition between us and it made it so toxic. You shouldn't be competitive with your partner. So maybe that's not a good selling point. So gentlemen, ladies, if you're watching this, maybe that's something you should leave out. What are you competitive about? Competing kind of translates to like games as well in like the dating stage, I think. Number two, selfies. I am all for a selfie. And I'm not saying that men shouldn't take them, but a profile of 6 to 9 selfies has me thinking that you are maybe a psychopath and you have no friends and you're a little bit self-obsessed. I mean, there are profiles out there and every single picture is a selfie. Like, selfie of me lying in bed, selfie of me with my dog. In fact, no, a lot of them don't even have dogs. That would make them less of a psychopath. Selfie of me at the gym, that is one that I hate. Put your fucking topless selfie away, mate. No one cares. Selfie in the mirror with a suit or a night out outfit to prove that they have a social life without friends. Or get a guy who can do both. I guess that's kind of like the thought behind the gym one and the suit, the night out outfit. Maybe it's not that deep. Maybe I'm just thinking into it a bit too much. Everyone loves a selfie, but come on, do we need 6? No, we don't. Third observation. I feel like if a guy says he's 5'10", he's definitely shorter. If you write an essay in your bio, you have way too much time on your hands and you are seeking validation. It's a no from me. The thing that sticks out the most is the absurd things that people will say to try and get your attention. Alongside the boring general chat, I feel like we just need a happy medium. Don't be so stupid and ridiculous, but also don't send the standard boring. I feel like I'm back in the MSN days where people are like, hey, UK, ASL, what are you up to? Ooh, to. Yeah, just not a fan. Right, I'm gonna play date one. And you can just see how date one went. I am still not convinced on the pre-date authorization, pre-date date thing. And as this goes on, I might understand a little bit more why the pre-date authorization, why like the coffee date was necessary. Maybe it's just me, maybe my expectations are high. I don't care, set your expectations high. If a guy's taking you for a coffee on a first date, bin him off. Anyway, here we go. Roll, date one. Is going to select one of the date E's. We've just currently got lost in the car park, so I'm just walking around. My tactics are to pick the polar opposite to something that Dom would pick. Probably something that I would pick. Vic's actual words were, they can't all be fit. So I feel like I need to do a a prerequisite of
this is so
of all the current matches.
Whoever I pick, if they find this video, they're gonna be like, oh, am I not fit? No, they'll be semi-decent.
Vic's type is literally, it couldn't be further from mine, potentially further away than Leanne's. And Leanne's type was, Leanne's choice was very much not what I would choose. So we'll see what she goes for.
And I'm a whiskey kind of guy. He's allergic to wine. And he's 20. It's so cute. I don't like bad boys.
I don't like bad boys. Just idiots.
No, I won't be tight on him.
Oh, babe. Vic's fully sucked into the Hinge world in the middle of Birmingham bull rings.
So fascinating. This guy's only got side angles. That says a lot.
Side angles and sunglasses. And Instagram filters are a no. An absolute no.
This guy is me, but in a boy. He's looking for the hummus to his falafel. He likes monkeys. He's 6 foot. Agnostic, whatever that means. All Tory show.
I think he's a bit too political for me. Maybe it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting.
This is the one.
Is he matched me?
Yeah, you are unreal.
We've matched him. Right, so is that your pick on Hinge? Right, okay. What's your favourite thing to eat for breakfast? That's possibly the deadest conversation in the world.
Why has he only got one day to respond?
So, I'm actually considering cutting this one out because it takes just too time consuming and you have to be like on it to know that somebody's replied to you. So I feel like it's kind of like rejection central. Might be too busy. It's like me, he turns off his notifications and doesn't message anyone for 5 days. We found him on Instagram. Fitness enthusiast, loves cakes. Oh, he loves cakes. He doesn't look quite as fit on his Instagram.
Definitely not. Interesting.
Well, let's see if he replies.
I think some of these are too far away.
No, they're all near home. So we're using Tinder now. We've come up with a problem, however, because we're in Birmingham, so it thinks that I'm looking for dates in Birmingham. So I think Tinder's like some speed dating kind of thing where like you just date people in the area you're in. So she's currently looking through the people who have already swiped. Is it swipe right? Swipe right. So she knows.
I know who we're gonna pick.
Oh, she's found one. Who? Oh, I've already spoken to
You can practice your acro yoga with him. Not enough people to use that.
Not as many as there is on Hinge. You said he was fit, the top one. He said they're not allowed to be fit though. This is what I'm up against.
Oh my god, this guy.
I've not matched him, surely. See, the thing is with these swipey ones, you accidentally match people and you're like, I definitely didn't match you. It's like when you follow someone on Instagram, you're like, I definitely didn't ever follow you. That's what it's like on Tinder. You accidentally match a lot of people. I forgot to reply. Sorry, I didn't see your message. Sounds like a familiar line. Done. Have a hot date today. I am the hot date. And I'm not quite sure how I feel about this one because it's like a pre-date, it's a half date. We are going to call it a half date. Is a half date a thing is a pre-date a thing? Like a pre-date date? So I had a conversation with my friend Alex on the way home, and I was like, if this was a real thing, there's no way that I would be going. And he was like, oh, it's like a pre-date date. I think it's a good idea, because then you can kind of decide whether the girl's like into you, and like she's worth taking on a second date. And I was like, I feel like you should take that risk instantly if you're in this for the long haul kind of thing. Like if you're actually in this for real, it's like a probation period. You have a pre-date probation date. Oh, I just nodded. And then I'm gonna come home, get ready, and go on my merry ways to my pre-date date. It doesn't exist. Oh. Hello. Hello, Victoria eating crisps. So, I feel like you're gonna hold the same opinion on this as me, because I don't think this is a thing, and I definitely think it's just been made up. Half date, like a pre-date date, and I was like, there's no such thing as pre-dating. If you're trying to
meet someone, no.
If you're trying to impress a girl, why would you want to take her on a pre-date? So, initially he cancelled on me, right?
Right.
So we were supposed to go on a date today, and then he cancelled on me and was like, I'm really busy. But he did it in like a really shitty way, where I was like, oh right, so is this your way of basically saying you're too busy? And he was like, yeah, I'm sorry, I've got to meet my friend's mum.
What?
So I'm like, what? He says, I've got to meet my friend's mum. Well, you've already lost 10 points then, like, thank you. Then he messaged me a few days after, like, oh, I'm free on Sunday now for a bit, so we can do something. So I'm like, right, okay, like, what are you thinking? Guess where he wants to go?
Cinema.
For a coffee.
For a coffee on a Sunday night?
On a Sunday night, before he sees his friend's mum, because he might have to go for food with her, so he doesn't want to commit to eating with me.
This is really bad.
Yeah, I know. I was like, all right, can you rotor me in then? And he even said, I'm not making a great first impression here, am I?
Wait, this is like the yoga boy?
Yeah.
Oh my god, you think like he was really like spiritual and just got that to do this?
So what do I wear? I'm going for a coffee. I'm like, I go for a coffee in a tracksuit.
I feel like for how shitty it's been, you need to just go chill.
It's like jeans and a jumper type vibe.
Yeah. Oh, I know, that t-shirt that you've got, that with power on it.
Yeah.
That top with, does that go with them black cargo pants?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that, and then some trainers.
Right. Done. So you don't think a pre-date date exists either? So, Vic confirmed that she does not know what a pre-date date is, and we also don't think it's really a thing. I definitely think it's like a male kind of tactic. I think men feel like the pressure to always pay for a first date, so maybe it's like a thing where they want to see if the girl is worth actually like forking out for a proper date. If you're really in it for love, like you're really in this for a relationship, then shouldn't you be trying to make a great first impression and not be like, oh well, I'll put them on a pre-date like requisition sort of thing. I'm just gonna go, I'm gonna see how I feel, and then obviously kind of the purpose of this would be like, would I go on a second date based on the first date? So obviously right now, like, he's not making me feel like I want to even go on the first one, never mind like go on a second one. I'm obviously gonna take you guys with me so you can see how it's actually going. You know, when you commit to something and then you really don't want to go and you hope that the person texts and cancels, that's kind of how I feel about this date. And like, I really want to be excited. I've been asked to go on some amazing kind of dates, and like where people have actually thought about it, or at the very least kind of been like spontaneous, whereas this is like, oh, I can fit you into my schedule before I go for dinner with my mum, you know, which was meant to be you, but since it's now not you, can we just do this? I just kind of feel like It's quite disappointing. It's like date rejection, but he's like letting me down gently. And to top it off, I've got a drive to go and meet him. I've got to drive like 30 minutes and probably pay for parking when I get there just to go and meet someone for a coffee, which is gonna have to be a decaf because it's 5 p.m. Like, what is this about? Really? Oh, sugar. I'm also having the worst time with my skin. You can't see in this light because it's like a ring light. I don't know what happened yesterday, but I kind of like just came out with all of these pimples on my forehead. But I know there are bigger problems in the world than having a few pimples on my forehead, and I will live. When you're supposed to be meeting somebody in less than an hour and they've not replied to you, do you ring them? Or is that weird? I feel like this guy's getting flakier and flakier by the minute. Fuck it, I'm just gonna call him, I don't owe him anything.
I want you to dance cause you feel beautiful inside, baby. I want you to be yourself.
Is it appropriate to wear no bra on a first date? Is it appropriate to wear no bra on a first date? It is now. So, little bit of Chris Brown there, hey? I'm not quite sure how it went. I don't know what to tell you. Dating's such a bizarre experience for me. Oh God, does it get better? I'm asking you all this when this is going to be edited and all done by the time this is out, so you can't tell me if it gets any better. I hope it gets better. I don't know, I tend to attract quite emotional people that need healing or are on some sort of spiritual journey, which I think we're all on kind of a spiritual journey, which is fine. I don't know, I'm just not quite sure how I feel. I feel like I need to go to bed and talk to you all about it tomorrow. I'll give you the full review tomorrow. We went to like a place that I would normally go for like lunch or brunch with friends, so it was nothing fancy. Maybe that's kind of the goal, is to keep it casual. He spoke a lot about his previous Tinder dates, which I thought was interesting. And obviously I've not really had any, so it's all new to me. So it was an interesting conversation. It gave me quite a good insight. He said that a lot of people are on Tinder just for sex, which was eye-opening and very honest, but that's why that's not why he was there. So that was reassuring. I felt like that was nice. I felt like he had a lot of depth to him as a person. For me, not sure. Given everything that he spoke about, I'm definitely not sure. He practically told me he's going to go and become a monk, and I was like, fucking hell, when this gets out, you'll definitely become a monk, pal. Right, so yeah, I'll update you all in the morning how I fully feel about it. I'm gonna go and eat now. So I'm here to spill the tea. This is a glow tea by Twinings. Basically they were just all on offer in Sainsbury's, so I bought like 3 different ones. Apparently gonna make me glow, so by the time I've drank this, by the end of this video, I should be glowing. Vic had high hopes and high expectations. She went for this person because they were spiritual, worldly. Their interests seemed quite different and interesting. They were like polar opposite to everything I've ever been with. So she was like, I thought it would be a really good experience for you. It's 2 days since the date. And I feel like I've needed 2 days to kind of process the whole thing. I mean, he told me he wanted to move to India to become a monk. My initial reaction was, I was so confused. Obviously, I know that monks are celibate. And monks definitely don't use Tinder. So my initial reaction was, why is a fucking monk on Tinder, an aspiring monk on Tinder? What the fuck? And then there was a lot of conversation around so many different things. He told me that the fitness industry is obsessed with aesthetics and the way that people look, and it's so much more than that, and people neglect how they feel, and I agree. Like, my whole thing around fitness is being more than the way that you look, like more than what's looking back at you in the mirror. So of course I agreed, but then came the comment, I don't eat sugar, or when I do eat sugar, I visibly see it go on me as fat. I mean, looking back, do you ever do that thing where you leave a situation and then you're like, you think about your reaction to something, you're like, oh God, I probably shouldn't have reacted like that. I think I literally like stopped what I was doing and was like, sorry. And I have no filter. So out came the comment, I don't think you can defy science, mate. That's not true. That's a psychological thing. It doesn't literally happen. And then only to go and order and eat cake. What? Like, you are a walking contradiction, mate. I mean, I think they could only get better from here, right? I spent most of the day wondering what was an appropriate time and an appropriate reason to leave, and then luckily they closed while we were there. Like, they said, we're closing now, and I was like, don't even ask if you want to go anywhere else. Say that you need to be somewhere. Oh, he needed to be somewhere. So he was like, we've already covered this. You've just seen this. He told me that he needed to go for dinner with his friend's mum, which I was like, what? Like, great, but do you want to fit me in when, like, it can actually be a priority? I just kind of was like, okay, you need to go now and I've got to be somewhere, bye. And then yesterday, so the day after, I thought it was quite obvious there was not going to be a second date, because as much as it didn't go terribly, it didn't go anywhere, which for me is just as bad as going terribly. And he was like, oh, it was lovely to meet you, you're like different or special or something, with a wink face. A wink face. Do monks also use wink emojis? I don't think so. I mean, all in all, I was just baffled. I was very let down because as Vic, like, the reason that Vic chose him would be my expectation. Like, we'd do something he was very different. So I thought we would do something really different for a date, probably something active. And then when he was like, let's go for coffee, I was like, I can't even like debate this because it's not up to me. I said at the beginning I was gonna let them choose. So I had to kind of just go with it. And at the same time, I was like, is this guy for real? Just felt like he was so confused in life. Like, my response was kind of like, if you want to go to India and be a monk, why are you sat in a coffee shop telling a stranger that you've met off Tinder, do you need my validation? Because you're not going to get it. Like, go and do what the fuck you want with your life. He was like, oh, just to gain perspective. Like, no, you don't want to gain perspective. You want to gain approval and validation. I don't matter. Why do you care what I think? Maybe that's where he was at in life. And he wasn't a bad guy at all. He wasn't like a bad person. I just felt like he had a lot of self-discovery to do. It really did show that you can kind of portray this like worldly image, and you can say all of these fancy things on like WhatsApp and Tinder and text. In reality, you have no fucking idea what is going on. Like, what you want. Why are you even on Tinder? Like, I asked him, I was like, why are you on Tinder then? And he was like, oh, I don't know, I've been on and off it for such a long time. And I was like, does that in itself not tell you that it doesn't work? If you've been on and off it so many times, it clearly isn't doing the job. I feel like people go on to like Tinder repeatedly, like go back and go back and go back, and it's like going back to your toxic ex-boyfriend. This is like a feeder of ex-boyfriends. It just keeps spitting them out at you. I do kind of get the vibe that there's a lot of people on there that are kind of like in a transitioning phase in their life. Like, they're not kind of like sure what they want. They're not maybe sure why they're even on there. They just want a little bit of fun, but they're not sure if they want a bit of fun. And he was definitely one of those. Straight away in my head, I was like, fucking great. I have a history of attracting very damaged men. So maybe it's just me. Then I realized I didn't choose this one. So I have Vic to blame. Like, I have Vic to blame for this whole experiment because she suggested it. So yeah, I feel like it can only get better. Like, it can only surely get better from this point out. I don't know, do they get worse? Like, I mean, it could only get worse if it went catastrophically wrong, but at least they're going to be more exciting. Like, the main thing with this is I feel like it was just boring. And Vic was also very upset that she didn't get to choose me a nice outfit and she had to just choose me an outfit which, in her words, reflected the amount of effort that he put in to the day. Moving on to the final review. I think you already know the answer to this. Would I go on a second date with them if this were real life? No. What would I give this date out of 5? Is it possible to give it a 0? I mean, they're my rules. I'm gonna give it a 0 for everything. Lack of effort, lack of letting me know what I was doing. It was just no. Like, I kind of hoped that I would get there and he would really surprise me, and he didn't. So at least he didn't set the bar too high for himself, hey? Number 3, what have I learned? I think this has not taught me, but reaffirmed that you shouldn't have expectations of people and situations, especially if you don't know them. I kind of think that's maybe unfair to say when you're on a dating app and you expect the other person to put that effort in and want to be there, but maybe just kind of go into it with an open mind and like let whatever is going to happen and let the person just be themselves. I tried to do that for the most part, and then there were times I was just like, come on mate, like you need therapy. Also, don't expect a person to be a certain way just from their pictures or their profession, because that most certainly was not what I anticipated for this person. So yeah, those are my takeaways. It can only get better. It can only get better. Pray for me like you prayed for me in the first video. Pray for me in this video that it gets better from date 2 onwards. We have somehow managed to recruit a few more friends who want to be involved, so there might be a couple more dates than intended. So you also need to pray for me on that front. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, give it a thumbs up, click the like button below. Please comment any suggestions, anything you have to add, to share. Please hit me with it. Please just subscribe and watch me ruin every chance that I ever have of having a successful dating life ever again. Please subscribe to watch me make myself undateable. Click the bell button to get notified. There is a video coming every single week, so I'm gonna try and make it pre-Love Island, because by the time this comes out, Love Island will be on. So I'll give you a little bit of pre-Love Island love action, or lack of in this case. Here's to the next date and hoping that it goes drastically better than this one. Good Lord.
I don't want no scrub. A scrub isn't gonna hit me.